Hey guys, it's a pretty cold day today. Feels like 14, but it's about 19. For you guys that are watch my channel from up in Canada or the upper Midwest right now, I'm sure you would trade what we have right now for your weather, but still a pretty cold day for Pennsylvania, and it's only going to get a lot colder from here, so it's just how it's going to go for the beginning of winter here. So I know there's a lot of guys from Canada that watch my channel, and I've never been to Canada, and it's more or less just a case of, depending on what time of year it is, I don't even leave the farm for weeks or even a month at a time, so I just don't get out very much, which is fine. Anyway, today I want to get into this loader valve here and get that working. I don't like how hard that goes for the raise and lower control. It goes really hard, and I don't like yanking on this lever real hard to get the loader bucket to lift. So let me walk over here into the light. One of the tools that is a must-have and should be in your toolbox when you're working on stuff, and it's almost more important than wrenches or sockets or anything, but it's this. This is a whiteout pen for marking stuff to take apart, so you know how it goes back together. I also used to carry a Sharpie. Sharpies are good too if you have a lot of white Fleet Guard fuel filters that you need to write hours and dates on. The black Sharpie's good, but as far as Case IH and International equipment, whiteout shows up the best on Case IH black, Case IH red, and International red. Even on wiring harnesses, a lot of your wires are black, the wiring harnesses that you write on. So basically, the whiteout pen is a very important tool to have in your toolbox. I'm going to use it to mark these hoses before I take them off. Now, a couple disadvantages and drawbacks you have to watch. Gum cutter cleans off whiteout really easily, as well as brake clean and basically any of your solvents. So what I try to do is mark it in a place. Even oil will wipe it away. So as a rule of thumb, I try not to mark it up where the wrenches are going. I'll mark it like back on the hose somewhere, so it doesn't get wore off. The other thing I noticed, and if you'll take notice, and this isn't correct, but whoever did it was trying to put a little extra layer of seals on this valve. You guys can probably see it right away, but these are JIC hydraulic fittings and connections, and you do not need Teflon tape for that style of fitting. And these are O-ring seal in the bottom here, and I don't know if they put Teflon there or not, but the only place you're going to need Teflon is where they didn't put it. I don't know if you can see, it's dark, maybe. There's a pipe there, pipe thread, and no Teflon tape, and you can see it's all oily. So it was a good effort, Teflon, but JIC, no Teflon required. O-ring face seal, no Teflon required. Pipe thread, a must. So I'm gonna get tearing into this and get it off, and I don't really want to open the door today. It's windy and chilly. The wind chill's pretty low. Have these little hatches that open to help let some light in, maybe, depending on which way the wind's blowing. So I'm gonna see if I can get this off. All right, guys, the loader valve is off. You can see I have them, the hose is all marked. So my next step, I had talked to my dealer about getting the a seal kit for the one valve that's bad in there, and they are having some difficulty finding the correct seal kit. They had suggested it might be better to take it apart and match up the O-rings. I'm not a big fan of that. That's trial and error, and trial and error is never fun when you have to do things 3 and 4 times, especially in the dead of winter. So I'm going one better. And this is why I'm very lucky that the farm is where it's at, where it's located. 2 minutes down the road, I have a hydraulic repair shop. It's a full service. They'll make hoses. They have fittings in stock. They rebuild valves, they rebuild hydraulic cylinders, they'll machine hydraulic cylinders if you have a bad cylinder. Basically, it's a full service, anything to do with hydraulics, they can do it. There's also a welding and fabrication shop that shares a side of the building. So you have two companies right there. So I'm going to take this to them and see if they can't get me the correct seals and O-rings, and I'll go from there. I'll try to get everything right from a hydraulic dealer. They deal with hydraulic valves on a regular basis, more so than a farm equipment dealer would. So we're going to take these and see if we can't get the correct seal kit and figure out what's going on with this valve. So just going to take it right to them. It's freezing cold today, like I said, with no heat, and I would rather have it in a warm hydraulic shop that we can take it apart and match up the seals instead of me trying to do it here on the bench in the freezing cold. So I might be a wuss, but whatever. It's in the box, it's ready to go. I'm gonna see if I can't get my Dodge started here. So so that's one advantage of where the farm is. I'm really happy to have that hydraulic shop just 2 minutes down the road. They just opened here in the past couple of years, and they have a pretty good setup. They'll make you brake lines and custom steel lines for equipment. It's real handy that it's right there, right down the road. I have brought hoses to them to get made. The other advantage of why it's nice where this farm is located, I have a hardware store about 3 minutes away. You drive down the road a little bit further and you can get bolts and chains and oil and you name it, anything at a hardware store. And they have a little bit more selection as far as for farming than your average big box store. Basically any type of bolt or hardware you need. They sell drill bits, tools, all that kind of stuff. So that's nice that that's there. I have those two things just down the road. I don't have to drive real far. And what else? Why else do I like where I am? Oh, there's a fuel about 5 minutes away. Then I can get off-road diesel fuel at the right at the pump. Like I say, I still thinking about getting a farm diesel fuel tank. For bulk fuel storage, but for now we're using that 100-gallon transfer tank, and it's only a 5-minute drive, and the price at the pump is about what you'd pay to have it delivered. So for right now it's working out, and I'm always putting fresh fuel in the tractors. It's just a case of having to run for it every so often, but for a 5-minute drive it's nothing major. So I guess you could say that's some of the reasons why I'm real happy why the farm is where it's at, where I'm located. Especially if you blow a hydraulic hose. I mean, you could almost walk there and get a hose made if you need one. So anyway, I'm gonna get this over there and see what we come up with. See if I can't get this rebuilt today yet, or not. So I'll come back with you here. All right, well, I struck out there. The guy that does all the hydraulic valves and stuff, he is on vacation until the new year. So I just left it there. And I hope we don't get any snow from then until now, because it does work. But I said don't take it apart until he's there. And if it does snow, I'll just come back, pick it up, and then slap it back on the tractor and go from there. So, like I say, I could take it all apart, and if they're not there till New Year's, I'm not going to get the seals anyway. So got some antifreeze here too. I have to try to figure out what that's from. It's right where that block heater is, so something's leaking there. So all right guys, it's basically where I got with that loader valve. I don't want to pull it apart until I'm sure I have the seal kit, so I'll get back with you tomorrow and see what we have going tomorrow. So thanks for watching. Now on to the next issue.